Economics, Chapter 5, Section 2, Beanbag Production Costs. In this assignment, we'll be discussing how to use a spreadsheet to identify the different types of production costs. So as we already covered in Chapter 5, Section 2 notes, we've talked about all these different terms. Now we're going to continue using the beanbag example for this. So we're going to start filling in this spreadsheet. So what we're going to find is that when we talk about a fixed cost, it doesn't matter if 0 are being produced or if there's 12. So for this example, we're going to say that the fixed cost is $36. And if you grab this little box right here, it will duplicate your information into all these cells. So the fixed cost is going to be the same all the way down. And then we have variable cost. At producing 0 beanbags, we would have a variable cost of 0 because we're not hiring anyone, so there is no hourly wage. So then for this, our total cost, we would go equals, and our formula line is also up here, and then we'd add the fixed cost, click on the cell, plus the variable cost, click on this cell, would be $36. There would be no marginal cost because there is no beanbag being produced. Marginal revenue, let's say that's $24. And then total revenue would be 0 because we didn't produce any, so we didn't make any revenue. And then our profit would end up being, we go equals, we would go total cost minus total revenue. Actually, mistake on that one, go equals total revenue minus total cost equals. So we are negative $36 at this point. Now let's say I'm going to fill in the rest of these variable costs, and there's not a formula to figure these out. They are just provided for you in the example. So we're going to say the variable cost for 1 is $8, and for 2 would be 12. Let's go 15, 20, 27, 36, 48, 63, 82, 106, 136, and 173. Again, there is no formula for variable costs. Those are being provided for you in your example. And then from here, we're going to start adding the fixed plus the variable. Since we already have that formula in this top cell, we can duplicate that all the way down. So click on this box and go all the way down to the bottom, and it's going to automatically add the fixed plus the variable to get these numbers here. Now it's time to start calculating the marginal cost. What does it cost for 1 extra unit of good to be produced? So what we're doing is we're going to go equals, and we're going to take the total cost from 1 minus the total cost from 0, and we would get 8. So it's going to cost $8 in order to create this marginal cost for 1 unit of good. Now the next one, we could go equals 2 beanbag total cost minus the cost of 1 would be $4. And we could use this formula all the way down to find our numbers here. So this begins to show us when we have 3 beanbags being produced, we'd have $3 of marginal cost. So it goes down, but then we see an increase. And that could be again to the idea of lack of physical capital. Marginal revenue, this is going to be the price tag on our beanbags. So it doesn't matter if we're selling 1 or 12. It's always going to be $24, same price. So we're going to drag that down to get 24. Now we need to calculate our revenue. And the way we do that is by going equals the cost, which is marginal revenue, and then we're going to go shift 8, which is going to have the asterisk or the star, times the number being produced, which is 1, enter. And we're going to keep that same formula all the way down. So this identifies if we sell 2, we're at $48, $3.72, $4.96, 5, and so on and so forth. Now we need to calculate our profit. And as we did before, we're going to go equals, we're going to click on total revenue minus total cost, and we're still in the negative at $20. Let's duplicate this one down. So when we duplicate it down, we have to sell a minimum of 2 in order for us to break even. On 4, on 3, we're able then to make $21. On 4, $40. So this is how you create a production cost chart using a spreadsheet. Now, in the notes, we talked on the last slide, or one of the last slides in Chapter 5, Section 2, about the shutdown idea. And the idea behind this is, what if the cost of our beanbags dropped to $7? And so now our revenue is at $7. And we're going to use 5 beanbags for an example. So we have the 36, the 27, total cost 63. We're taking those same numbers from right here. And then our marginal cost is 7. Marginal revenue is 7. Total revenue will be 35 and the profit will be 28. Is it going to make more sense for the company to shut down completely at this point, or does it make more sense for them to stay open? Now, obviously, they're both negative. And what you look at to answer this question, if you were going to use this for your homework for an example, this is what you could use to help you answer the question in your homework. 2 things you look at. The profit. Even producing 5 at $7, we're losing money. That's not a question. But we compare that to the fixed cost. So if we produce 5, we're losing $28. If we produce 0, we're still negative 36 because nothing is being produced. Now again, the scenario, we're losing money on both ends, but it's going to make more sense to stay open even though we're losing money, but we're losing less money by making a beanbag for $7 rather than not making any beanbags, and our fixed costs are $36. So again, this is an example of Chapter 5, Section 2 beanbag production spreadsheet demonstrating how to find your numbers for this example.